Hi everyone and welcome back to Saturn Secrets. Today we're discussing the astrology for September 2021 and what it means for your zodiac sign. Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're discussing the astrology for September 2021 and what it means for your zodiac sign. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification button so that you don't miss the regular astrology updates from me. So right up until the 21st, the September equinox, we are in Virgo season. Now the sun shows us where we get our life force from, meaning that the focus for this month is on your healthy habits and your well-being. Virgo loves to streamline so that we can be our most productive selves. Virgo is a sign that is known for diet, exercise, well-being, our schedule, our daily habits, our daily routines, and how they can benefit us or negatively impact us. Virgo is a season whereby we want to declutter our space so that we have less to stress about, that we're more productive, we know where everything is, everything has a place. This might be a time to listen to the life-changing magic of tidying up, reading that book, or getting into a habit in your routine where you maybe organize something every day to get to a much more organized and cohesive space for yourself. Because Virgo understands that our habits are what shape us in the long term. So this could even be dietary. Virgo season is a time when we take on healthier habits in food, what we're ingesting. Virgo rules what we're ingesting, what we're eating, or what we're drinking. We might commit to drinking more lemon water. We might commit to eating more greens. A lot of people are more likely to join a gym in September as well. Virgo season is this back to school feel where we want to invest in stationery, we want to get nice pens, we want to get a new pencil case, we want to get new clothes, new gym clothes, new items that make sense for us in terms of our habits. It's a sort of principle where your wardrobe, your closet, if you're in the States, matches your schedule. So if you work the most, you have more work clothes, or if you are always in the gym, you have more gym clothes. It's about streamlining and making sure that we're organized to benefit our own life and our own habits, and how this can actually positively impact us as a person. There is a new moon in Virgo coming up on the 6th or 7th, and this is a wonderful time to begin new habits, to start a new process. This is a wonderful time for starting a new job. This is a wonderful time for beginning an exercise regime, beginning a new diet, beginning a new meditation practice, committing to something in your life that is going to shape you in the long run. It is very organized, so this is a wonderful time to start organizing things in your home. But really the seeds that you plant at this time are very disciplined. They're very practical. It's about creating habits that benefit your mind, body and soul. So whatever you start around this new moon, it's likely to be very blessed, because this is actually an incredibly lucky new moon, and we will get into it more in the new moon in Virgo video. But for now, what I will say is that this new moon itself is a wonderful time to start habits that will shape your life for the next 6 months, that you could see real payout from in March 2022. Mercury, the ruler of Virgo season, is going to be in Libra this month, and it's going to be in Libra for an extended stay, because we do have a Mercury retrograde coming up in the sign of Libra. Now, when Mercury is in Libra for the first 6 days of the month, it is going to bring a lot of helpful conversations socially. It's going to be easier to discuss things in our life that we need to come to some sort of conclusion or compromise on. It's a wonderful time to benefit relationships. Conversations are more gregarious, they're more calm, they're more centered. It's a wonderful time for any kind of discussion. It's also a wonderful time for talking about relationship needs or relationship goals. Now, Mercury retrograde this time, I have to say, has a bit of a lucky twist, because in its extended stay in Libra, it is going to be trining Jupiter, the Great Benefic, 3 times. So this is actually something that can bring you second chances in communication, second chances where Mercury and Jupiter fall in your chart, and I'll explain that in the all signs part. But it can bring you more luck, more opportunities that you might have missed, particularly opportunities you may have missed earlier on in the year as well, social opportunities that you may have missed, written or communicative opportunities that you may have missed. When Mercury and Jupiter trine, it's usually for a little space of time, but it's going to trine 3 times, bringing you more blessings, even though both planets are going to be in retrograde. This is going to be a particularly auspicious Mercury retrograde, considering there is still the caveat that we may lose emails, things may go missing, things may be delayed, there may be some miscommunications, but with Jupiter there's kind of this haha feel. It can feel funny to make mistakes, or people can be more open to your mistakes, people can be more understanding and more joyful. Mercury will go retrograde at 25 degrees of Libra on the 27th of September. Venus, the planet of love and beauty, is in its home sign of Libra right up until the 10th, and this is a beautiful time again for relationships, for communication, for compromising. It's a wonderful time for any kind of relationship because there is this more balanced feel to it. It's beautiful social energy. You may be feeling more social than usual, particularly because Venus is going to trine Jupiter on the 6th of September, which is one of the luckiest aspects in astrology, bringing a lot of luck and love and blessings to our romantic lives, to our relationships in general, because Venus being in its home sign is particularly benefic and it's connecting with the benefic. So we're going to be feeling this beautiful, bountiful energy in terms of relationships flourishing, being more open to relationships, being more happy and content within our relationships in general. And also financially, there may be a sense of optimism, a sense of hope, especially if Libra is a financial house for you in your chart. This is a really gregarious, exciting time. So there's a lot of beautiful social blessings happening this month, especially in the beginning of the month. From the 10th, Venus moves into Scorpio. Now this is going to join with the Saturn-Uranus square of this year. So Venus is going to be causing a little bit of upheaval with this particular energy. With Venus in Scorpio, it's going to oppose Uranus, meaning that there can be a want to try something new, to flourish, to experiment in our most intimate relationships, or maybe even for some people financially. What this though means financially in a collective level is that there could be some shock or surprise. Don't forget that Venus rules Taurus, which is money. Uranus is in Taurus, which is money. Scorpio is about shared resources, other people's money. So with Uranus being so unexpected, there could be some shocks or changes to our financial system, particularly as Venus in Scorpio is going to be squaring Saturn in Aquarius, meaning that there could be some long-term effects of this that are particularly important financially and also socially, because Saturn's in Aquarius. How this might play out in your everyday life is more experimentation in a relationship. It might be trying to date people that aren't necessarily your type, or trying something new with a partner. It might also be some jealousy or competition comes up within friendships or in group activities. There may also be, with Scorpio there, some secrets revealed about groups of people or particular teams that you know of. There could be some secrets coming out surrounding anything that Scorpio touches in particular. So there could be some secrets coming out financially that people weren't aware of, or on a social level, but there for sure could be some sort of shock or surprise in terms of the financial systems. Venus in Scorpio in general makes relationships that little bit more intense. With Venus in Libra, it's a wonderful energy for formulating relationships and communicating. Venus in Scorpio is that little bit more deep. It has depth to it. It has intensity. When Venus goes into the sign of Scorpio, it's usually the type of relationships you see with Morticia and Gomez in the Addams Family. That real red roses, constant affection, really deep connections. Those type of relationships really flourish with Venus and Scorpio. And it can also be, as I said before, because of this connection with Uranus, dating outside your regular type in the second half of the month. Mars is in Virgo right up until the 14th, so the discourse this month is in the detail. You may find discourse surrounding your work life. Co-workers might be more difficult. You might be finding co-workers more irritating. You might be getting into an argument with somebody in your gym. You might be getting into an argument over veganism. You might get into an argument in all aspects of Virgo, your habits, what it is that you do with the day. But with Mars being here, there is an accountability, there is a strength, and there is a drive. So if you are someone who really struggles to get on top of your habits, your work, or what it is that you do to feel healthy, what it is you do to feel balanced, This is an energy that will really work for you, especially with that new moon in Virgo. You're more likely to hold yourself accountable, you're more likely to pay attention to your habits and your details, and this is a time when you could really get on a new train that actually really works for you. So despite Mars causing some hiccups maybe in terms of our relationships with co-workers, our relationships with others surrounding details, it can actually be a wonderful time to be holding yourself accountable. Now it's going to oppose Neptune at the very beginning of the month, meaning that there could be a little bit of confusion surrounding what accountability actually means, or what it is that you're actually looking to hold yourself accountable to, what your habits are, what your responsibilities are. You're more likely to be questioning them with Neptune, particularly on a collective level, because Neptune is very much an energy of collective consciousness and feeling one with your fellow human beings. And Mars in Virgo is just a let's get this done kind of energy. So there could be a little bit of confusion over what it is exactly that you're trying to get done in the beginning of the month. Mars will then trine Pluto though around the new moon in Virgo, meaning that there is a lot of energy to transform, particularly in terms of career, particularly in terms of long-term goals. And Mars trine Pluto is incredibly auspicious, it's incredibly lucky, and it's happening around the time of the Venus-Jupiter trine. So this is going to be a time when you may really understand how you need to change your life through your habits, positive transformation, letting go of what's not working for you, letting go of toxic habits, habits that are keeping you small, that are keeping you stuck, that are keeping you in a space that you don't want to be in. It's kind of with Mars trining Pluto, the ability to break up with old toxic habits that really are not working for you. Mars in Virgo trine Pluto in Capricorn. It's time to get really real and really practical with what it is that you're trying to achieve and let go of the dead weight in your life that is stopping you from doing so. Mars then moves into Libra, and Mars in Libra is a time when we want to put a lot of energy and a lot of focus into our relationships of all kinds, because the sign of Libra recognizes relationships in any form, particularly one-on-one partnerships. That could be in business, that could be romance, but there could be a little bit of tension here that comes up with this, particularly with Mercury going retrograde in Libra. And this can be because exes come out of the picture, exes come out of the blue. This can be because people that you used to know come out of the blue, that come into your life. This can be old friendships as well. But especially because Mercury is going to be trining Jupiter in Aquarius, which is the sign of friendship. So there could be a lot of social reconnection this month. There could maybe be with that some details to iron out. In relationships in general, there is a warning with Mars and Libra not to be too passive aggressive in relationships. This can be a time when people really don't necessarily want to say what they mean, so they can be indirect with it, and that can cause a lot of miscommunication and confrontation, as it is with Mars and Mercury both in the sign of Libra, but Mercury being retrograde. So watch out for being passive aggressive. Relationships likely mean a lot to people this month. So with Mars, when you feel like something means a lot to you, you can be very aggressive in defending it, particularly with Venus and Scorpio. So beware this month. There could be a tendency for people to be more possessive, more jealous, or more intense in general. There is a magical and mystical full moon in Pisces on the 20th that is going to be conjunct Neptune, and this is going to be a very spiritual full moon, very whimsical, very ethereal, very elusive, a beautiful time to do a tarot reading, a beautiful time to practice healing, practice Reiki, speak to a therapist, or anything that can really tap into your subconscious mind, maybe trying EFT, any kind of spiritual practice or psychological practice that really helps you understand what's going on in your subconscious, because your subconscious is illuminated when there is a full moon in Pisces, particularly with the Neptune conjunction. This can be a beautiful time for romance or creativity or spiritual work, because there is this openness, there is this receptivity to energies outside of ourselves. Pisces is a very empathic sign, so there's this understanding and vulnerability comes up with this full moon, and the ability to absorb and understand what's going on with everyone else. And this is actually a real time when the collective is all plugged into each other. So there could be some really beautiful magical energies happen around this time. This could be a really beautiful dreamy point for you, especially if you're a creative person, or you're someone who just loves to see the magic in life. You love to see the magic in the unknown, tap into unknown realms. You're more interested in what you cannot see than what you can. After a Virgo season of being very practical and detail oriented, this full moon is about your spiritual well-being. The full moon in Pisces is also about surrendering control and trying to dictate your own future, trying to dictate your own reality to a harsh extent. It's a time about letting go and surrendering to something bigger than yourself. So this may be a time when you're really feeling very dreamy, really feeling very connected to the other realms. You're feeling very interested in your own spiritual journey, your own spiritual side. Even if you don't necessarily connect to it so often, this full moon has a beautiful dreaminess to it. Do stick with people that you know around this time, people that you trust, because with the conjunction to Neptune, there can be a tendency to be taken advantage of by charlatans or people that maybe don't have clear intentions or not being obvious. So just watch out for that around this time. So the sun will move into Libra on the 21st of September. This is the September equinox, which is a time of equilibrium, finding balance. It is the cusp of transition. It's a time when we clear out our space, where we give gratitude for what it is that we have, where we decorate for fall or autumn, whichever it is that you're doing. If you're in the southern hemisphere, obviously that's not the case for you, but this is the time when we get ready for spooky season. This is the time when we give thanks to what we have manifested over the year, and in particular we feel this apprehension and excitement about the winter, the darkness to come. But this is about finding equilibrium and balance in your life, and knowing that there is a balance between light and dark, and not to be afraid of the darkness. It has its purpose, it has its cleansing, it has its spiritual connotations. And so with this particular Libra season, it is going to be that the sun is connecting in harmony with Saturn and Jupiter, meaning that there is going to be a lot of benefic energy coming to that. Now the ruler of Libra season is Venus, and on the last day of September it is going to square Jupiter in Aquarius, meaning that there could be some friction in relationships in general, potentially from overdoing it. There's likely going to be a need this month for a lot of people, especially in relationships, to be connected to their partner, and some people are going to want to find new ways of making that exciting. So there could be a little bit of discord comes up with that. People could be more clingy in certain parts of the month, and some people could be wanting more space, maybe to socialize with friendships or groups or other interests. So there could be a little bit of a clash comes up with that. Jupiter has a tendency to overdo it, so it could be that in some cases you've been spending too much time with others and you feel a bit depleted, and it can cause tension or something like that. With Venus being a financial planet in Scorpio squaring Jupiter, again there could be more news surrounding finances, but that comes particularly with the Venus square Uranus. So as usual, I'm going to be doing the Animal Spirit Wild Unknown Tarot and see what the Animal Spirit Messenger is for the month of September 2021. The Crow. This hasn't come up this year at all. So the Crow is actually the perfect card, I think, to describe the balance between the Virgo Pisces oppositions this month. The Crow is someone in an energy form. It's an energy that's very spiritually strong, very spiritual, knowing, this ability to peer into the future, peer into the unseen, the other realms, and really it has this knowingness to it, which I think is represented by the Pisces full moon this month, and also Neptune in Pisces. But the Crow itself, the energy is balanced out by regular meditation, by regular attention to what one's eating, to what one is ingesting, and balancing out the practical side of this. Meditation practice in general is something that we see a lot with the Crow. So this could be that you're on one end of the spectrum. Basically you're either in the Virgo area of focusing maybe too much on the detail, focusing too much on your diet, your health, your routine in a practical sense, whereas the Pisces energy is maybe focusing too much on the spiritual and not being grounded. So there could be a balance for some people between having blockages in their third eye and some people having blockages in their root chakra. Some could be feeling too in the earth, too on the ground, with nothing going on up here in the spiritual sense. And it could also be that some people are top heavy spiritually. They're focusing more on the spiritual side, the manifestation side as it were, but they're not actually putting in the action or feeling grounded in their root chakra. So the book mentions that whenever the Crow energy is in balance, they feel very clear, very psychic, very knowing, and when they're out of balance, they feel out of touch, they feel ungrounded, hypersensitive. So this is when you know this month that your energy is out of balance, and to bring it into balance is about having a practice that embodies the practical side of Virgo, you know, eating well, resting, and then the Pisces side, which is spiritual practice such as meditation, clearing the mind, or being open to signs and synchronicities from the universe. The crow is a really interesting energy actually, and I did hear before that crows, despite making the most vicious sounds, are messengers to the gods. So if you do see one this month, make sure to make a wish, because the Virgo new moon on the 6th in particular is incredibly lucky. It's incredibly potent energy to plant new seeds and set new intentions that can really grow and develop. So that is what I have for September 2021 in terms of the collective. If you're interested in what it means for your zodiac sign, please watch your sun, moon and rising for the most accurate results. Timestamps are listed below, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye! Hi Aries, and welcome to your horoscope for September. Aries, we have a wonderful new moon happening in your 6th house of health and habits on the 6th of September, and this new moon for you could mark a new beginning in terms of a job, in terms of a project, some kind of dietary change, some kind of exercise change. This is a wonderful time to commit to a new habit or formulate new habits. We have oppositions happening between the Sun and Mars at different times to Neptune and Pisces. Both the Sun and Mars are going to be in your 6th house, meaning there's a lot of energy there. A lot of you are committed to fitness goals, routines, well-being, to work, but there's a bit of confusion surrounding Neptune in your 12th house. So you're wondering how good your habits actually are for your spiritual well-being and your mental health, and you might need to balance the two out. Not to worry, there will be a full moon happening in the 20th in your 12th house of emotional well-being and spiritual health. So for you Aries, around the 20th, you might be having a realization or a letting go of something that's not good for your mental health or your emotional well-being. Your dreams could be very intense, your subconscious mind could really come to the surface, so it's a wonderful time to do any kind of therapy, EMDR, Reiki healing, spiritual readings, that sort of thing. Venus will be in your relationship houses for most of the month. When Venus is in Libra, it will form a trine to Jupiter in your 11th house, meaning there could be some wish fulfillment in terms of your partnerships and your relationships. Around the new moon in Virgo, it could be a particularly social time for you, which is wonderful. There could be some sort of dream come true surrounding your relationships or manifestations or just good feelings in general. However, Venus in Libra, your 7th house, will square off with Pluto in Capricorn, your 10th, meaning that the great times you're having in your relationships could get a little bit of pushback from your career. Maybe you're having to work more hours, maybe your boss is being a bit tense or something like this, or it could be that you're being you're putting a lot more energy into your work and you're feeling like it's not quite balanced with your relationships and you'd rather spend time there. So when Venus moves into Scorpio, Aries, this will be your 8th house of intimacy and shared resources. This is going to be a very, very deep, intimate time for you if you're in a relationship, or if you're looking for a relationship, it's more likely you'll be looking for someone who is quite seductive or someone who's quite magnetic, and maybe someone who is a little bit deeper than your usual type if you don't usually go for someone who's a bit deep. You could also be merging financially with a partner financially this month in a big way. There could be some sort of shared resource going on with a partner or getting something together, although there is friction there because it is going to be forming a square to Saturn in Aquarius, which is your friendship, your teams, your networking. So there could be a little bit of a restrictive energy surrounding friends and networking when Venus is in your 8th house squaring off with your friendships. So it could be that your friendships are maybe pulling you away from something that you're working towards with a partner, or maybe they're eating into your time a little bit more, or maybe they are not being very helpful in terms of financial matters. It's also entirely possible that you could have some surprises financially, Aries, because Venus is in your 8th house and it's going to oppose Uranus in your 2nd house, which is your money. So it could be your money that is surprising to a partner. There could be something financially comes up for you that you weren't expecting this month. Your ruler Mars is going to be in your 6th house for the first half of the month and in your 7th house for the second half of the month. When it is in your 6th house, this could cause some tension in the workplace with co-workers, could even cause tension with people that provide you a service or people that work for you. In the second half of the month, Mars going through your 7th house could bring up some steam in your relationship. Sometimes this can be a great thing and sometimes there can be a little bit of an argumentative attitude or a little bit of passive aggression. Do watch out for that. Mars will be connecting with the Aquarian energies, meaning that there can be an element of open-mindedness and connectedness coming up for you in October as well. Although Mars in Libra will be squaring off with Pluto in Capricorn then too, meaning that the balance of your relationships and your career goes into October. But this looks like a beautiful month for you, Aries, and one where you can really get your health and well-being in check. So your oracle card for this month, Aries, is Yamanya, Golden Opportunity. Important doors are opening for you now. Walk right through them. So for you, Aries, with that new moon in Virgo, you could be presented with an amazing opportunity, an amazing career opportunity, something very big and exciting could be presenting itself to you this month. Certainly with Venus trining Jupiter, there could be a lot of expansion happening around the new moon in Virgo. Now, I will get into the new moon in Virgo more so in the new moon in Virgo video, but there could be a lot of expansion, a lot of excitement, especially in terms of relationships. It's a beautiful time for your relationships whenever this is happening, so you could have a golden opportunity there, or it could be a golden opportunity in your career or work. So that is what I have for you, Aries, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Taurus, welcome to your September forecast. So Taurus, we have a beautiful new moon this month in your 5th house of love, pleasure, romance. It's where you find your happiness, it's creative, it's the pleasure zone, and it also rules your relationship with your children or matters surrounding children. So the new moon happening in Virgo there could be a time of a new creative project. It could actually herald a new love coming into your life if you're single, or a new development in a current love affair. It could also be for some of you an announcement of pregnancy, or it could be the birth of a child, either yours or someone in your families. If you're in the creative arts, you could be starting a very creative project at this time, or for anybody, you could be starting a very creative hobby. Now, the Sun and Mars are both in this area of the sky for you at the beginning of the month in the first half, and at different points they're going to be opposing Neptune in your 11th house. So it could actually be that there's a bit of social confusion surrounding these matters. So maybe you feel like you have a new relationship or new love interest, maybe you worry your friends aren't accepting, or they're from a very different background, or there's some confusion with their friendships or their social standing, or perhaps it is that you're feeling pressure to engage in something online, maybe go online official with someone you're dating or something like this. But it could just be that you're feeling some kind of social pressure with Neptune being there, some sort of confusion there. Maybe you're a little bit confused because you're dating someone and they don't have a social media profile, or maybe you're starting a creative project but you're not so sure who your audience is, something like that. There's a little bit of confusion surrounding wishes, aspirations, and your social life, Taurus. But this is interesting because at the end of the month, towards the end of the month on the 20th, we have a full moon happening in that side of the sky for you in Pisces. And it's going to be conjunct Neptune. So it's likely there could be a little bit of clarity come up and a culmination of energy surrounding friendships, wishes, aspirations. Maybe you don't quite know what you want to manifest at the moment for yourself, or what you're hoping for. Maybe you're not so sure what you're looking forward to. And this full moon can add a little bit of clarity. I say clarity loosely because it's Neptune conjunct. But it could be that there is a tying up of loose ends surrounding friendships, maybe some changes friendship-wise, or maybe if you've been having doubts about a friend or someone that you are connected to socially, or a team, you may have some more clarity about how you feel at that point, especially using your intuition. Around the new moon, Venus, your ruler, is going to be trining Jupiter. Now, Jupiter's going to be in your career sector, your long-term goals, your public image, and it's going to be trining Venus, your ruler, in your 6th house of work and habits. So the good habits that you're formulating for yourself are likely going to be paying off. There's going to be good news surrounding work, good news surrounding colleagues. Maybe you're getting a promotion, maybe you're getting a raise at this time. Something quite exciting could be going on in your career, work and professional life, but also your long-term goals surrounding health. The good vibes from Venus being in your 6th house of health, though, are going to form a square with Pluto. Now, Pluto is very transformative, so there could be big transformations coming for you health-wise, Taurus, but they're going to be in your 9th house. Pluto's going through Capricorn, your 9th house. So it could be that your spiritual side is maybe putting a bit of pressure on you health-wise. It could be that long-standing belief is maybe negatively impacting you health-wise. It could be your beliefs about a particular diet or an exercise regime or something that you've learned. It could be that you need to review material on what is actually healthy for you in terms of what you're ingesting into your body, what you're eating, what you're doing exercise-wise. It might be a time when you find it quite liberating to read some journals. This is especially true if you're in the medical field. It could be about reading up on your particular profession, learning about new theories, learning about new interests. It could also be for some of you that are in university or studying that you're feeling pressure to perform spiritually, philosophically, or in terms of your education in a way that could be challenging to your health. Now the lovely part is that Venus is going to move into your 7th house, which is Scorpio. So Venus going into your 7th house is a time of relationship commitment. It's a time of relationships being blessed, your partnerships being blessed, you feeling particularly in love or particularly happy, or finding people that are like-minded that you can work with. It can also represent your closest one-on-one relationships, you know, the person that you're closest to in your circle or something like this, can all be blessed by this energy. The problem is, Taurus, that Uranus in your sign is going to oppose Venus in your partnership zone, meaning you yourself may be feeling a bit frustrated with a partner, you may be getting a little bit wild, or you might want to be a little bit more free, or you might want to try something wild and wacky that your partner might think, what are you doing? So there could be a little bit of tension in your relationship life towards the end of the month because Venus is linking with the square between Saturn and Uranus. Because it's going to be squaring Saturn in Aquarius, which is to do with your career zone, Taurus, it could be that you're really wanting to spend time with a partner and be with your most intimate relationships, but you're finding that you're really being called into work more, or you're finding a boss is putting more pressure on you, or you're maybe just feeling a bit overwhelmed by the workspace and you're having to put more attention there. It's more restrictive on your time, but you'd like to be spending that with your partner or your intimate relationship or your friends or whoever it is that makes you feel happy. It's worth also saying, Taurus, in the full moon in Pisces on the 20th, do make a wish, because the 11th house can really be quite magical, and it's linked to Neptune, means that a dream could actually come true. So Taurus, your oracle card was Athena, which is inner wisdom. You know what to do, trust your inner wisdom and take appropriate action without delay. So this is about being brave and standing in your convictions, knowing what it is that you want, knowing what it is that you mean. I think for a lot of you with that full moon in Pisces, what you want on a spiritual level and an aspirational level could become very clear to you this month, Taurus. And you have to be very sure about what it is that you want, because with the opposition between your friendship sector, your social expectation sector, and the Virgo energy, perhaps you're confused about what other people want from you. So make sure you know what you want for yourself, because that's what truly matters. So that's what I have for you, Taurus, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Gemini, and welcome to your September 2021 horoscope. So Gemini, we have a new moon in Virgo this month, which is your 4th house of home, family matters, property, where you live, and also your emotional foundation. So it could be that there is a new beginning in terms of a home. Maybe you're getting a new home, maybe you're moving, maybe there's an addition to your family, maybe there is someone coming into your family through marriage or through birth. It could be that there is somebody coming in to your family circle, a new addition as it were. But there's also a new beginning feel, so it could be to do with property, it could also be to do with redecorating your home, changing up your space, or for some of you it could be working with inner child work from your past. Now we do have the opposition between the Virgo placements and Neptune being in Pisces. Neptune being in Pisces is giving a bit of confusion and a lack of clarity. It's not very clear and concise in your career sector, but this is to do with your public image, your professional image as well. And it's going to be opposing Mars being in Virgo at the beginning of the month, and then a little bit later on the Sun. So this is a lot to do with your public image. You may be a little bit confused about what's expected from you at the moment from other people, maybe your boss, maybe your employer, maybe people in positions of authority, maybe your public, maybe your audience. You're a little bit confused about what they want to see from you. And you really are finding that you're putting most of the energy into your home, maybe renovations, maybe moving, and so you're losing a little bit of focus and a little bit of clarity in those areas. There will be a full moon in your sector of public image towards the end of the month, meaning that you could be wrapping up a particular career cycle, you could even be leaving a particular job, you could have a boss leaving a particular job that you work for, or someone in a position of authority could be exiting the picture. This could also be with the 10th house, potentially males exiting the picture. But we do have Venus in your 5th house for a good portion of this month, and then it will move into Scorpio into your 6th house. Venus in your 5th house is really beautiful because it's going to bring a lot of love and blessings to your love life, to your romantic life, to your playful side, your pleasurable side, your creative side. Now it is going to form a trine with Jupiter, which is in Aquarius, which is your 9th house, meaning that those of you in long distance relationships could really find your relationship flourish. It could be that you, with Jupiter being there, are really benefiting from education. You could find that you're meeting someone that is like-minded romantically this month, maybe from university, maybe from a course, maybe from higher study. There could be a little bit of a crush there. The Venus in Libra is also going to be squaring off with Pluto in Capricorn, which is of course your 8th house. This means that maybe where you want to be a little bit more creative on a project, there could be somebody that you're linked with financially or intimately that isn't really digging this, that isn't really into it. So it could be that you are, relating with someone financially. You could have shared resources, but you want to change the project that you're working on. There could be a little bit of a clash. Basically, where you're merged with someone else on an intimate level or a financial level could be coming into a little bit of friction. They could be trying to hold really tight, and it could be dampening your creative skills or just your happiness in general for a couple of days. It's just a little bit of intensity comes up with Venus and Pluto. Venus moving into Scorpio is going to be joining the square between Saturn and Uranus. Now Uranus is in your 12th house, which is very spiritual, it's very quiet, it's your inner world, your private inner world, and forming friction with your 6th house could mean that you want to form better habits for yourself, make better habits for yourself health-wise, diet-wise, but there's kind of this fear maybe sometimes with the 12th house, or an intuitive or subconscious block that wants to be liberated. You could find that you're reacting from a place of subconscious, not a place of awareness, and this could be disrupting your schedule, this could be disrupting your work, and it might be something that you have to address. It's also going to be, that's the opposition between Venus and Uranus, but Venus is also going to be squaring Saturn, which is your 9th house of education, higher learning and travel. So you could have some limitations going on surrounding your university or your higher courses or the journeys you're taking, or also you feel like you're not realizing what it is that you need to know. There's kind of this confusion coming in for you based on where you're limited, but also based on where you're reacting from. There could be a bit of confusion over your own motivations or what it is that you truly want regarding your routine or what it is that you want to do in the day. Your oracle card was Damara, guiding children. You're good at helping, counseling and healing children. Use your skills to help children now. So this is a very family oriented card. You could be spending more time at home with your own kids. There could be kids coming into your life either through pregnancy, as we have Venus going through the 5th house, or there could be that you're spending more time with the children in your life, or you're also working on your inner child. Some of you could also be getting clarity around the full moon that you want to work with children or volunteer with children, but children could be a big part of your month, either working through the inner child or engaging with your own children or helping or volunteering with other children or working with them. So that is what I have for you, Gemini. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Cancer, welcome to your September forecast. So Cancer, we have a new moon in Virgo, which is your 3rd house. Now your 3rd house is to do with communication. It could be that there's a new beginning in how you communicate, who you're speaking to. There could be a new correspondence coming up for you around this time online or through the written word. It could be that you have a new beginning in terms of sales or purchases, particularly vehicles, or you could be going on a short-term trip. A staycation maybe, but the 3rd house is going to be opposing your 9th house where Neptune is. Neptune's giving you a little bit of confusion as it transits the 9th house. Anytime it makes an opposition to the Virgo energy, it gives you a little bit of confusion surrounding your travel affairs, your journeys, your realizations in life about higher philosophies, higher perspectives. So there could be a little bit of a philosophical, existential questioning moment going on for you, Cancer, surrounding your car or surrounding your communication or surrounding the people that you spend your day-to-day time with, what it is that you are learning at the moment, or the facts. You could be very confused about the facts or reality, as it were, particularly with Mars going through your 3rd house. There could be some heated words that really makes you question, maybe your studies or your philosophies or your higher perspectives. There could be a bit of challenging energy there. But we do have a Venus-Jupiter trine around that new moon, which is really beautiful. Venus is going to be in Libra, your 4th house of home and family, bringing you a lot of blessings and benefic energy there. And it is going to be trining Jupiter in Aquarius, which for you is your 8th house. So for some of you, you could be making financial moves with a family member. Some of you could be coming into inheritance. Some of you could be purchasing a home, or there could be good financial affairs surrounding joint resources with a partner. You know, your partner could be coming into some money. It could be that you are able to furnish the home in the way that you want to, something like that. But there seems to be good feelings surrounding the home and your shared resources money-wise. So that could be a tax rebate, for example, that allows you to decorate your home or something like this. But Venus going through Libra is also going to be squaring off with Pluto, which is in your partnership zone. So it could be that in terms of family or home matters or property matters, your partner could be a little bit domineering or authoritarian, or something that causes a little bit of friction, or they could just be a bit possessive or a little bit stuck in the mud about property issues or family issues, maybe to do with children as well. Venus is then going to move into your 5th house, Scorpio, which is lighting up your love life. Venus going through your 5th house is very romantic. It's an opportunity to attract love. It's an opportunity to attract romance into your life, to have more fun, to have more pleasure. It can also be a time of pregnancy, because Venus is a benefic if you're looking to conceive, because it's going through the 5th house. But pregnancy can also be creative in that sense, you know, having a project, giving birth to a project, having a creative project on the go, or especially if you work in the arts. But Venus going through your 5th house brings blessing to this area for you, although it is going to be joining on with the Saturn-Uranus square. So Saturn going through your 8th house means that you could be a little bit restricted financially in a creative project, or it could be that you're being held back by financial investors on a creative project. Other people's money could be affecting, you know, the way that you raise your kids, or the way that you do your hobbies, or something like this. Or it could also be with the square to Uranus in Taurus, which is your 11th house. It could be that there's a bit of social pressures. Your friends could be acting in a way that's very erratic or confusing, or a little bit wild, or you could have a very busy social calendar when you actually just want to be enjoying your new romantic possibilities, your new dating, or your romance. Or something like this. You could have a friend who's acting really strange and you need to intervene, and you actually want to spend time with your kids, something like this. So these are the areas that are coming under a bit of pressure. But we do have a full moon coming up in Pisces, which is going to be conjunct Neptune. And this is a time for you, Cancer, that is very expansive spiritually. You're maybe traveling around this time. You're maybe going to a foreign place. You maybe are learning a foreign language. You're maybe having a wonderful realization, Cancer, about what it is that you want, what it is that you're looking for. You could be finishing university. There could be a wrapping up in some sort of educational period in your lifetime, Cancer. So your oracle card, Cancer, was the Fairness card, which is interesting because we're going into Libra season, where you'll be focusing more on home and family matters. A lot of you could be signing legal papers this month. There could be legal contracts, there could be negotiations, there could be contractual obligations. If you're involved in a lawsuit, it may go in your favour. Some of you could be pursuing the legal profession, but really this is about the situation being handled in a fair and just manner. And maybe Libra season is going to restore some equilibrium for you, Cancer, especially after you've maybe been a bit confused surrounding education or travel plans, or the facts or the realizations that you need in order to move forward. So this is a really lovely omen for you, Cancer, and I hope you enjoy Virgo season. Hi Leo, welcome to your September horoscope. So Leo, we have a new moon happening in Virgo for you. Virgo season is all to do with your 2nd house of material assets, your income, the money that you make. So there could be some new beginning in terms of your money. You could be starting a financial plan, you could be opening a new bank account, you could be getting a new job which results in new money, you could be starting a new project which is bringing you in some income. This is a really blessed new moon, so just bear in mind that this is a wonderful time to put financial intentions out into the world and manifest some money for yourself, some income for yourself. There is going to be a little bit of confusion surrounding your money, and that is because Neptune is going to be opposing Mars in the first few days of the month, and then later opposing the Sun in Virgo. Mars is going through your 8th house of intimacy, of shared resources, where we share money with other people. So it could be that you're maybe a bit confused surrounding big financial affairs such as inheritance or tax, or the money that you share with a partner, your partner's money, or something like that, government money. There could be a bit of confusion surrounding a payment, or maybe a tax rebate, or maybe inheritance issues that are affecting you working on your own money, with Mars being there and the Sun being there. So you tending to your own money could be something that is just a little bit confusing due to somebody else's the way that they work with it. But it could also be, in that case, if it's not material, it could be emotional, that an intimate relationship or confusion surrounding an intimate relationship is maybe affecting your self-esteem. So with that new moon, it's important to tap into confidence and feel very self-assured. Now there is going to be, with Venus in Libra for the first half of the month, Venus is in your third house of communication, meaning that you're really blessed in terms of how you present yourself, how you speak, your relationship with siblings. It's how you articulate yourself or show up, or give facts, basically, dropping facts. This is going to be trining Jupiter in your partnership sector, meaning that there could be a wonderful conversation coming for you with your relationship. Now, Venus is also going to be squaring Pluto in Capricorn, which is your day-to-day work, meaning that there could just be a little bit of pushback in work. Work could be feeling particularly domineering for you over those couple of days. It could be that you're feeling a little bit under pressure work-wise, or maybe even under pressure health-wise. Maybe you're making some health transformations that you're finding it hard to explain to other people. Now we have a full moon in Pisces on the 20th. Now Pisces is for you, Leo, a very intimate side of the sky. It's very much based in our relationships when they go to a deeper level. It's also based on shared resources. So there could be some news comes up around that. It could be that some feelings come out. It could be that you are talking more intimately with a partner or connecting more deeply with a partner on an intimate level. But it could also be that some news comes up surrounding money, particularly inheritance or tax, or money that comes from other people, basically. We do also have this month for you, Leo, you experience this in your season, all the fixed signs do, that Venus is moving into Scorpio, which is your fourth house of home and family, meaning that there's going to be beautiful benefic energy to your home and family. Venus is a really lovely planet to have in the fourth house because it brings you if you're doing renovations, they go really well. If you're redecorating, it goes really well. You can connect to your family in a way that's helpful and harmonious and beneficial. But it is going to be opposing Uranus in Taurus, which is your 10th house, meaning that you could find that towards the end of the month, career just goes wild. There could be a lot of unexpected events. There could be a lot of unexpected things are happening. Maybe your boss does something really unexpected. Maybe somebody has to go off on leave unexpectedly and you have to do a lot of work there when actually you just really want to decorate your home or spend time with your family. It's also going to be squaring off with Saturn in your partnership zone, meaning that a key relationship could feel kind of restrictive to you, where you maybe want to make changes to your home or spend more time with your family. There could be that balancing of a partner's needs as well, or someone you're in a very close relationship with. Tarot card, Leo, was Maeve, which is cycles and rhythm. So this is about honouring your body and understanding as well this month with the fixed square energy and oppositions. Everything is just a phase, everything has its cycles and rhythms. And it's funny that you have Neptune in the 8th house and a full moon in the 8th house, which is a lot to do with psychological transformation and also understanding, how you have changed in this life and understanding that everything is changing all around you all the time. And as a fixed sign, you can try and control that, but it's really about honouring where you're at that moment. And with Pisces full moons, it's also good to sort of surrender to where you are at that moment. It's not about being complacent necessarily, but it's about honouring your body in particular, Leo, especially with Venus squaring Pluto, with Pluto going through your 6th house. It's all about understanding that your body is probably transforming or has changed a lot. And it goes in rhythms. It's about honouring those rhythms rather than fighting against yourself, particularly if you're a female. Don't fight against your own body. Just understand that it goes through changes and that is something that is perfectly natural. This is also about getting your mental and emotional well-being, having an understanding that it also comes in rhythms, and not to force yourself into being something or feeling something that you're really not feeling at the moment. That's what I have for you, Leo. So I will talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Virgo, welcome to your September forecast and happy birthday, Virgo. Woo. This is a beautiful month for you. We have a new moon in your sign, and it is one of the luckiest new moons in your sign because it's happening around the time Mars is trining Pluto, around the time Venus is trining Jupiter, and this new moon is also trining Taurus. So I will get into that in the actual new moon video itself. But for you, that new moon, just to summarize, is going to be a time when you can step into the spotlight, when you can decide if you want to step into the spotlight a bit more, be seen a bit more, be a bit more social, and put yourself forward for things, put yourself out there. And also just sort of do a vision board and what you want your aesthetic to be for the upcoming 6 months, or even the upcoming 2 weeks, what it is that you would like to organize for yourself in terms of personal preferences, maybe your image, how you look, the things that you do in your day-to-day, and just who you believe yourself to be and who you want to step into. It's very main character energy, I have to say, as this new moon. You do have a lot of confusion coming your way in terms of relationships with the first few days of the month, just because Mars is going through your sign, giving you a lot more energy. It can also burn you out, so just be mindful of that. You're really putting a lot of energy into yourself, into your own personal goals, and it could be meeting a little bit of confusion from a partner, maybe with Neptune being in Pisces, opposing it, and then later opposing the sun. You're maybe just feeling a little bit confused about your love life and what your relationships are looking like at the moment. Maybe you're confused about what your partner wants, what your partner needs, what your relationships need in general, or maybe you're just a bit confused of how you feel over other people. But there could just be a little bit of need to focus in on what it is that your wants and needs are first and foremost, Virgo, in order to tend to that. Now, Venus is going through your second house for the first half of the month, then it's going to move into your third. In your second house, you could be making a lot more money. It's a good time for a raise in particular, because it's going to trine Jupiter in your sixth house, where professionally in the workplace you're being well received by colleagues, you're being well received by the people you spend your day-to-day and work with on projects. And this is going to be positively impacting your money. Now, Mercury is going to be going retrograde this month as well in your second house. Maybe you need to revisit some things financially. Maybe you need to have a little bit of a look back on your spending, but this is also going to be trining Jupiter, so it might be that you get a second chance at seeing how valued you are by your colleagues or the people you work with, or your own goals in terms of your health and well-being. The full moon coming up in Pisces is particularly lovely for your relationships. It's not incredibly clear, but there could be some sort of transition in a relationship. There could be, you could be leaving a relationship, of course, or a relationship could be moving to a new level. There could be some significant change in a relationship dynamic, or it could just be that you're realizing something you didn't know about a partner, or you're connecting deeper with a partner, or deeper with a best friend or a business partner. There could be things come out surrounding a business partner. Really, the full moon has this illumination on your partnership sector, meaning that you're becoming more clear, particularly on an intuitive level, because it's Pisces, a more intuitive level surrounding relationships in your life, what you want from them, what you need from them in order to feel balanced, in order to feel like the relationship needs are being met for you. Another thing happening for you this month, Virgo, is that Venus is moving into your third house, meaning that there's going to be joyous benefits in terms of communication, in terms of siblings. This is a time when you communicate really well, you have the words to express yourself. This could be a time when you really find it easy to voice your opinion, to get the facts of the matter, to put your ideas forward well. But this Venus cycle is going to join in with the Saturn-Uranus square, Saturn being in your sector of work. So you could find that work is in some way, or your daily habits are in some way restricting your voice, or they could be causing a little bit of an issue with your relationship with siblings, with your relationship with neighbours even. But really the way that this looks is that your work, your day-to-day work, is maybe stifling your ability to express yourself, but also potentially the facts of the matter. You might not have all the facts that you need surrounding your work life for a few days towards the end of the month. Also, Venus in Scorpio is going to be opposing Uranus, so there could be some very surprising conversations come to you from a university professor, someone in a higher state of learning from your university. There could be unexpected travel news, journey news. You could have an unexpected visitor around this time, and there could also be a really heated or unexpected conversation surrounding values and surrounding religion or politics or all that stuff. Might be a time to dip out of those conversations, but you could be very surprised, I have to say. There could be some shock value in terms of travel plans or learning or education plans this month, Virgo. So Virgo, your oracle card was Anya, the leap of faith. Take a risk and put your heart's true desire into action. This is a card of manifestation. It's a card when a wish comes true, when a project goes well, when a plan goes well, when when an adventure goes well. And with Venus being in the second house, it's also a sign that your material needs are going to be well met if you have issues surrounding money. But with this card, it's really about being brave, and also for a lot of you, I think embracing who you are. This is lovely fairy imagery, so it's a wonderful time to make a wish and see it come to fruition, especially because that new moon is in your sign and is fantastic. It really is a well aligned new moon. So if you're born around that new moon in particular, very lucky time to make a birthday wish, especially if you're a day before or after or on the day itself or just around the 6th or 7th. Do make a wish because it might come true really very quickly, Virgo. So that's what I have for you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Libra, welcome to your horoscope for September. So happy birthday to all the Libras born in September. Do comment your birthday down below and let me know what date you are celebrating on, Libra. So most of this month is of course Virgo season, which is your 12th house. So you could be feeling a bit more tired, a bit exhausted. You could be feeling a little bit nostalgic, or there could be some past pains or unresolved traumas or fears come up for you during Virgo season. The beautiful thing though, Libra, is that we have a new moon in Virgo, meaning that if you want to commit to a new beginning in terms of healing, maybe seeing a therapist or seeing a Reiki practitioner or anything that involves a new habit or new beginning in healing, this is a wonderful time to do so because you're likely to connect to the right people, and you're also likely to learn a lot because Venus, your ruler, is in your home sign connecting with Jupiter. This is a beautiful aspect. It's one of the luckiest in astrology, so you're really going to be feeling the blessings in terms of your appearance, in terms of your personality, in terms of your spotlight, and it's going to be forming a beautiful connection with Jupiter in the 5th house. So if you're looking for love this month, Libra, all eyes are on you. If you're in a relationship, it's likely that you could be receiving flowers or receiving gifts, or there could just be an upgrade of romance into your relationship life at the moment. And also for a lot of you, this is a wonderful time for spending time with your children, spending time with people that make you feel very creative, working on creative projects or artistic endeavors. But it's just a beautiful aspect for joy in general. Although Venus is going to be squaring Pluto, so you have a lot of beautiful benefits coming to you with Venus being in your sign. We all do with Venus being in your sign, so thank you. But it's going to be squaring Pluto. Pluto is of course in Capricorn in your 4th house, so you could be feeling like you have the spotlight, but you might have a very controlling or domineering voice of authority that is sort of in your family, or there's a lot of maybe matters that need to be resolved in terms of family. Maybe there's some things that need to be changed, some things that need to be transformed, and you're just feeling a little bit like it might be dulling your spotlight ever so slightly, just for a little bit. But for the most part, Venus going through your sign is beautiful for you and beautiful for us all. Now, we are going to be experiencing a little bit of confusion for you in work matters because Neptune's going through your 6th house. Neptune could be causing a little bit of fogginess or a lack of clarity surrounding health issues, habits, the work that you do. There could be a little bit of there could even be a little bit of idealism over these things. Maybe you're being over optimistic surrounding these areas, but it could just also be that you're very confused in those particular departments. And it's going to be opposing the Virgo energy, which is your 12th house, which rules Neptune. So there is a bit of confusion going on for you in the first few days of the month that could make you feel a little bit unsure or uncertain about how you feel or what is leading you. It could be that your subconscious is leading you at this time and you're not so sure. So it's a good time to journal or do some spiritual work on yourself, or positive healing techniques that you do on the inside so that it reflects on the outside. We have a full moon coming up in Pisces on the 20th, which is going to be an ending out of a chapter or some news or manifestation surrounding your health and well-being. So it might be that you are giving up a particular type of food. It might be that you're changing your exercise regime. You might be ending a particular diet or a weight loss program, or it could be that you're, just to use really abstract cliche examples, it could be that you're ending a particular job, you're ending a particular project, or a co-worker is leaving, or someone that you someone that provides you a service is leaving at this time. So there's likely to be some changes in the 6th house area for you towards the end of the month, Libra. Now Venus is going to move into your 2nd house of Scorpio, and it's going to be connecting with the Saturn-Uranus square. So Venus going through your 2nd house blesses you financially. It gives you a bit more confidence. So we can expect those blessings for you. But we can expect that you might be experiencing a bit of unpredictability in the side of Taurus, which is your intimate relationships or your shared resources financially. So there could be some financial surprises coming for you in the 2nd half of the month. It's likely also that you could feel like your money is being somewhat restricted by your hobbies. Maybe you're participating in really expensive hobbies or really expensive creative projects, or you're maybe feeling a bit restricted by a love interest, or maybe you want to spend maybe you want to save money, but you have a love interest that wants to go out all the time, or you're finding that you have children with really expensive hobbies themselves, and you're finding that maybe is challenging to your money. But this is just an aspect that lasts a little while. Libra, as you know, as the ruler of Venus, Venus brings you benefits wherever it is. So your tarot card, Libra, is Bridget. Don't back down. Stand up for what you believe is right. So Bridget is all about standing in your truth, standing in your power, trusting in yourself, having self-confidence. We do have a lot of energy moving into your sign this month, particularly Mars is moving into your sign this month, bringing a lot of energy to your 1st house. You're going to be very self-motivated. You're going to know what you want. You're going to feel very empowered, and you're going to want to stand up for yourself. And if you have trouble doing that, Mars going through your sign makes it a lot easier. Now we do have Mercury going retrograde in your sign, but it is going to be trining Jupiter 3 times. So you might have to revisit a few ideas you have about yourself. You might have to watch your words ever so slightly at points, but I think for a lot of you, it's actually the opposite. It's about learning to stand up for yourself and maybe understanding that you need to set boundaries, particularly in romance or with children that you have. So this is all about standing in your power, being brave, and doing what you know is right, which is something that Libras naturally do. So that is what I have for you, Libra, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Scorpio, welcome to your September forecast. So Scorpio, this month for you has a big focus on 11th house matters, wish fulfillment, your aspirations, long-term goals, social inclusion, your teams and your friendships. There is a new beginning happening in these areas on the 6th. So this is the time for you to make a wish. This is the time for you to ask the universe for something you really want. Order from the universal catalogue. It's also a time when you will be very clear about your goals for a little bit. There's going to be a little bit of opposition energy there, but I'll talk to you about that in a second. This is a time when a lot of you could join a new team, you could join a new charity, work on a new cause, you could be making new friends around this time, and it's a really beautiful new moon to make a wish in general, because Venus is going to be going through your 12th house, trining Jupiter in your 4th, meaning that there's a lot of emotional blessings coming to you at this time as well, Scorpio, especially in terms of matters regarding home and family, and also your inner world and your mental health, your emotional well-being are going to be connected in a way that's really quite beautiful around this new moon. So new moon wishes are a go for you. Now, the problem is that, well, not the problem, because it's just a little bit of opposition, but the Neptune's going through your 5th house and it's going to be causing a little bit of confusion. Some of you might be finding a romantic interest kind of confusing, or a creative project is kind of confusing for you at the moment, and it's not meshing so well with your dreams and your aspirations or your friendships. It could be that you're finding your friendships are a little bit more aggressive in trying to get your attention, or you could be really trying to be social and network at this time. But with Neptune causing a little bit of confusion, opposing this energy, you may have to balance out your friendships and your romantic life, or your aspirations and what you do for fun. So that's something that could be coming up for you as a bit of a challenge, Scorpio. We also have Venus in your 12th house squaring off with Pluto this month, and Pluto is your ruler. So this can make you feel a little bit challenged by people that want to share their opinion to you, particularly in matters regarding spirituality or your emotional health or your emotional well-being, or your inner world, your private world. You could be finding that you're really getting enriched inside. You're almost becoming like a magician. You're finding that you're getting to grips with your past regrets and your subconscious. And you could just find other people's opinions a little bit overbearing, so just watch for that. We have a beautiful full moon in Pisces, which is your 5th house, so there could be a change, there could be a wrapping up in terms of a creative project, there could be an opening up or an illumination in love or pleasure or happiness for you around this time as well. You love Pisces energy, so this could be a very magical full moon for you. And we're also going to be experiencing Venus going into your sign, your first house. So when Venus is in your first house, you are the most attractive, beautiful, magnetic version of yourself. That's something to be enjoyed. The only thing is that you may find, because it's going to join the fixed square between Saturn in Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus, you may find that your home life or your family life could be somewhat restrictive in you expressing yourself the way that you want to, or you really feeling yourself. It could be that a parent says something insulting, or it could be that a family member says something insulting when you're really, trying new styles, for example, as sometimes we do with Venus. You're just getting a lot of attention. Someone could bring you back down to earth in a second in your home, or you might just be wanting to, invest more money in your clothes and your appearance, but you have to meet a bill at home or something like that. And then we have the opposition between Venus and Uranus, which is really spicy for your romantic partnership life, but it could be that your partner is acting a little bit unusual with this particular aspect. But with Venus going through your sign, you're incredibly graceful, you're incredibly Venusian, you're really in your element. But with Uranus in your partnership zone opposing it, it could just be that your partner might have a random bout of jealousy, or your partner might suddenly shave off all their hair in a way that you didn't expect. Something like that. It could just be that they're acting a little bit erratically around that time. So for you, Scorpio, your oracle cards, you get two, because you're Scorpio fan. Your oracle cards were Sarasvati, the Arts, and Rhiannon, the Sorceress. So this is Sorceress season for you in a big way, because we have so much exciting energy happening in terms of manifestation. You're a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. You have Mercury is going retrograde this month as well. I forgot to mention that too. But you have a lot more power this month to manifest what it is that you want, to set those intentions and watch those wishes come true. Anytime there is a new moon in someone's 11th house or a full moon in the 11th house, I always let the sign know that this is the prime time for wishes. So that might be something that you need to look into, maybe have a new form of manifestation, like journal or wishing, whatever it is that you want to do. Wish upon a star, because that new moon is more likely to make it so. And we also have the Arts, which is expressing yourself through creative activity. So there is the balance between your manifestations and your goals, and Neptune causing creation confusion. So with that being said, Scorpio, just make sure that you are creating things because you love to, not because you want other people to accept them. That's something worth thinking about. Also, with Mercury going retrograde in your 12th house, you could be finding that you're experiencing and processing a lot of emotions from the past. You could be hearing from people from the past, but this could really be a time when you're processing past hurts in a way that's actually really healing for you, because it's going to trine Jupiter in your 4th house, which is home and family. So it could be that you're processing subconscious fears from childhood, or you're processing trapped emotions surrounding your property or home matters, and you're finding that these are going to be something that you wrap up quite well and you really get to grips with, and then you emerge from it much more calm and really quite healed, I have to say. So that's what I have for you, Scorpio, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your September horoscope. So Sagittarius, this season for you is primarily focused on your career, your social standing, your public image. This is a wonderful time to step into the spotlight in terms of your professional life and be seen, because this is where you're putting most of your energy. We have Mars there, we have the Sun there, and Mars is going to really give you the energy to put into making your career what you want it to be. Not only that, we have a new moon happening in Virgo, meaning that there could be a new beginning in terms of matters surrounding career or your professional life. You could be seen in the spotlight much more around this time, Sagittarius. It's really your time to be seen professionally. So if you have some career goals that you want to meet, set your intentions on the new moon in the 6th. This is a wonderful time for manifestation. So you'll find that the goals that you write down around this time, they're easier to achieve, either by attracting in the people you need or just by divine intervention by the universe. So we are going to have a little bit of confusion with Neptune though, because the Neptune transit in Pisces, your 4th house, is going to oppose Mars in Virgo, and then the Sun in Virgo as well. So This means that there's a little bit of confusion or cloudiness surrounding family matters or home matters that you might need to balance out with your career. You've got a lot of energy for career, and it might be that you're finding it's making you unaware of stuff that's going on at home, or maybe stuff that needs attention at home. It might be that you're just not so sure what the people in your family want for you, or you're not so sure where you want to live, and this could be impacting you career-wise because you might have to make a choice. So just keeping a balance between home affairs and work affairs is going to be something that you are putting a lot of focus into this month, Sagittarius, even if you're not so sure what it is that you feel about home matters and family matters at this time, because Neptune can be quite elusive. It can also be very idealistic, so it could be that you're finding that you were very idealistic about family and home matters and maybe let it slide because of career, but it's something that is brought into balance this month. We also have a full moon coming up in your family zone at the end of the month, meaning that there's going to be an illumination of these matters. There's going to be an illumination surrounding the home and family. You could be moving, you could be doing something different with your property, you could be hearing about a family member, you could be hearing news about a family member or something that they are up to around this time, or there could be some significant change within the family, maybe even in addition to the family, maybe a baby's being born or someone is being welcomed into the family unit. Venus is going to be going through your 11th house this month, and we're going to have a Mercury retrograde, and we're going to have Mars moving into your 11th house this month. So there's going to be a lot of focus on your aspirations, your wishes, because when Venus goes through Libra, you're blessed in terms of your social life, your friendships, your teams, your social connections, and then Mars moves into it, meaning that you're going to have a lot of energy for social interaction, networking, meeting people, connecting with different types of people, and also connecting with old friends, because Mercury's going retrograde through there. You might hear from friendships from the past you've not heard from for a while and reconnect, or you might experience some challenging miscommunications in friendships and you have to iron these out. We're also going to be having Venus move into your 12th house, which is very much a time for healing your inner world, especially with old wounds surrounding love, romance, or just your old dreams, things that you wanted to do. It's kind of the dustbin of the zodiac where all your hopes and your wishes or your fears or your hurts go to stay. It's your subconscious. So it could be with Venus going through there, you're really finding a lot of healing in your subconscious. You're really finding that you're healing old wounds from the past, but it's also entirely possible, because this is going to be latching on to the square between Uranus and Saturn, that you could feel some challenging aspects to this. So while you're receiving a lot of support behind the scenes, some of you could be getting a lot of support in private from different people or through self-healing techniques. It could be that the opposition to Uranus means that there's some surprises for you, Sagittarius, in terms of your colleagues, your work life, or your own physical health. There could be some unexpected news around that time, or some unexpected flare-ups linked to something within your subconscious. So balancing your mental and emotional health towards the end of the month is a priority for you. And it's also going to form a square with Saturn in Aquarius, which is to do with your neighborhood, your siblings, and also your education if you're in school, courses that you're taking, or also your vehicle. So around this time you might find that you want to do something very healing for yourself. Maybe go off on a retreat, maybe go on a seclusion retreat, maybe spend some time alone in nature, and you find that your vehicle is just not behaving around the end of the month. There could be some issues with a vehicle or transport around the end of the month with Venus square Saturn, so just bear that in mind around those times, to drive safely and calmly and check your car, things like that. Not to scare you, it's just because anytime something comes up with the third house in Saturn, it means your vehicle can be restrictive. It's more likely that it stops you going somewhere, or that the transport system is in disarray, which is making sense considering Mercury is going to go retrograde. But that is what I have for you astrology-wise, Sagittarius. Let's get into your tarot. The card was Artemis. You and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected. So it was like to be some positive developments surrounding a family member this month, or just feeling like you have a guardian angel. With Venus going through your 12th house, it feels like you're being universally supported, spiritually supported around this time. You have a lot of guardian angels behind the scenes scenes. Some of you might be more interested in the concept of angels around this time as well. And it's also about spending time in nature. You could be wanting to go out to the woods or out in nature to reconnect with yourself, particularly when Venus goes into Scorpio, Sagittarius. So this will be a time for you to really feel in connection with the universe and at peace with yourself, and also feel like you're processing some stuff that you might not have dealt with initially. So that's what I have for you, Sagittarius, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi Capricorn, welcome to your September forecast. So Capricorn, we have a new moon coming up in your 9th house of education, higher education, important courses you could be taking, important trips you could be taking, journeys, your personal philosophy and religion. So there's a new beginning in these areas. Maybe you're going to travel somewhere, maybe you're going to travel to a different country, maybe you're going to begin a new phase of learning. Maybe you're going to begin a new course, or you're going to begin a new chapter in learning or study, or a new chapter in your religious perspective. So for some of you, you could be taking a trip that is significant for you on a spiritual level. Now there's a little bit of confusion coming to you with Neptune being in Pisces. Neptune's going to oppose the 9th house energies, meaning that there could be a little bit of uncertainty in terms of your day-to-day communications. There could be a bit of uncertainty surrounding siblings of yours. Maybe there's a little bit a lack of trust surrounding siblings, or a lack of knowledge or facts or communication surrounding siblings. It could be that communication and details are not entirely clear to you surrounding somewhere you're taking a trip to as well. It might just be that you don't have all the facts you need, you don't have all the important information or documents you need surrounding a particular trip. So there could be a bit of confusion, but you're determined to expand this month, Capricorn. You're determined to open your mind, to travel places, or to learn things, or to have a higher perspective over whatever it is that you're going through at the moment. Now Venus is going to form a trine with a Jupiter, and Venus is going to be in Libra. It's happiest place to be, and that's your 10th house of career success and your public image, and it's going to be trining Jupiter in your 2nd house, meaning you could be coming into a raise, you could be getting some professional expansion or acknowledgement around this time. However, it might be that you're trying to control your career or your public image a bit too much, because Venus is going to be in Libra squaring Pluto in your 1st house. So you could be trying to control the way you're portrayed too much. You could be worrying too much about how you're portrayed. You could be worrying too much about what others think. And this is about keeping focus on what it is that you want to focus on this month, Capricorn, which is likely to do with education, higher travel, and also your career. Venus is then going to leave your career zone and go into your 11th house, which is beautiful for your friendships, it's beautiful for your teams, it's beautiful for your social connections and your networking. Although it will meet a couple of challenges, it's going to oppose Uranus in your 5th house of true love and harmony, and creativity and pleasure and joy, and also children. So it could be that you want to spend more time with your friends, but you're finding that a child gets sick, something like a cold, and you have to stay in with your child when you planned a night out. Or it could be that your love interest wants attention from you and you also want to socialize with your friends. It could be that a love interest or a child acts quite unexpectedly towards the end of the month that negatively impacts your social life or your social inclusion needs in some way, shape or form. It might also be that you're not feeling you're feeling like you're having all these creative outbursts that you want to work on, but you also want to be connected with other people, even though you need to work on this in private. So those are the different types of things that can come up for you there, Capricorn. It could also be that you're feeling a bit restricted financially in terms of socializing. Maybe you want to go to a big party, but it's not really going to work for you because you're saving for something with Saturn being in the 2nd house, and you're wanting to be responsible with your money, but you're also wanting to spend on friendships and social activities. So there's a bit of conflict there. And then we have Libra season, which really puts your professional hat on, and we have Mars moving in there as well, giving you the energy to progress with your career and also be the boss if you're stepping into a leadership position. There is going to be a Mercury retrograde in that side of the sky for you though, meaning that you might have to make sure to double check contracts, your emails, what you're writing. You might have to ask for clarity in conversations with people in authority. And it might also be that this is a good thing for your money because it is going to trine Jupiter 3 times, meaning that if you have the opportunity to ask for a raise, it might be delayed and then renegotiated and come back better, for example. So there might be a bit of back and forth surrounding your money and career towards the end of the month, or to do with your confidence professionally might wobble a bit towards the end of the month. And this could also be your relationships with men or people in authority could be a little bit confusing towards the end of the month. Based on your own confidence levels. So that is what I have for you, Capricorn. Capricorn, your oracle card is Diana, focused intention. Keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target and you will make your mark. So this is about focusing on what it is that you want to accomplish this month. With all the earth energy, it's a really positive time for you to do so. This is a time for you to really focus on what it is that you need to do, especially because we actually do have Mars. I'll be talking about this more in the new moon video, but Mars is trining Pluto. Pluto's in your first house. Mars is obviously in your ninth. So you're really focusing on higher ideals and higher goals for yourself. So make sure that you are focusing on what you want to achieve and not what you're scared of, not what you're fearful for. Make sure that you're releasing doubts and having confidence in yourself, particularly with Jupiter being in your second house. It wants to expand your confidence, and it might be that you have to expand your confidence in particular surrounding career and speaking with people in authority, something that Capricorns are naturally good at, but it can be that you have a little bit of fear in there too. But really, if you have something you want to achieve this month, Capricorn, it's the month to go for it. That's all I have for you, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Aquarius, welcome to September 2021. This is your horoscope. So Aquarius, we have an 8th house new moon. So 8th house new moon is to do with both intimacy and deeper connections in relationships, and also shared financial resources, so other people's money. It could be that there is a new beginning for you in terms of a shared financial project, something that you're working on with someone else that you're both investing your money in. Otherwise for you, it could be a deeper level of commitment in a relationship, or it's also the house of psychological breakthroughs. So you could be committing to changing something, committing to transforming, committing to really getting into the nitty gritty. Could also signify a newfound interest in the occult, spell work, witchiness, plant medicine, anything that is regarded as occult. Could even be astrology for some of you. But this is going to be an interesting month in terms of all of that, because we are going to be having an opposition of Neptune in your second house, opposing your 8th house energies. So with Neptune being in the second house, there could be a little bit of confusion about where you want to invest your money or where you want to spend your money, and other people could be pressuring you to do certain things, or you could really want to, get involved in investments or crypto or something like this, and you're feeling a little bit unsure about, can you afford it, or can you, make the money that you need to do this, or are you going to make more money, or is this going to pay off long term? Because really with the 8th house, the thoughts are in the long term, either in relationships or money. So there could just be a little bit of confusion surrounding where you're at now and where you want to be. There's also going to be a beautiful link up between Venus and Jupiter is in your first house and Venus is in Libra in your 9th. So you're going to be blessed with Venus in Libra in areas surrounding travel, realization, journey, foreign countries, people from foreign countries, and it's going to connect with Jupiter in your first house, meaning that you're being well received. If you take a trip, if you meet someone from a different culture, if you get in a relationship with someone from a different culture, and also if you just want to learn something about the world, you're going to feel very expansive around this time. Could be good news surrounding travel. However, Venus is going to be squaring Pluto. So what this means is that Pluto's influence, Pluto's in your 12th house of your subconscious. You could be feeling a little bit fearful if you really have this dream of moving to a different country, or you have this dream of studying something, you have this dream of getting new education, or you want to pursue a new religion. You have some inner blocks, inner fears that need to be transformed with Pluto going through your 12th house. We also have Venus moving into Scorpio, which is your professional house. So with Venus going into your 10th house, you can expect to be better received by your by people in positions of authority. You can expect to be better received by people who want to give you jobs, people who want to help you advance in your career. Now this is going to be joining into the fixed square that you know very well, and it's going to be squaring Saturn in your first house, meaning that you are your own limitation, Aquarius. You need to stop doubting yourself, stop doubting your abilities in career, stop doubting your potential, and stop doubting your worth in issues surrounding career, but also your issues in worth surrounding men, maybe the father, maybe men in your life, maybe authority figures in general. It's also going to be opposing Uranus, your ruler. So Venus in your 10th house opposing Uranus, your ruler, means you might have some unpredictable events come up surrounding the home that take you away from your professional life, or there could be some unexpected events or behaviour from the father or people in positions of authority, but also maybe the mother. That's the balance that's kind of coming into play here. It's like the parenting balance for you with Venus and Uranus. So it could be that you're having some issues, some opposing issues in terms of family and professional life that you need to get into balance. But with Uranus being there, somebody in your life could be acting a little bit unpredictable around that time. Full moon coming up in Pisces on the 20th of September. That is to do with your income. So it could be that you're wrapping up a particular source of income, you're wrapping up a particular financial journey, you're wrapping up a particular phase in your career where you were making money from something. Some of you could be getting a raise, some of you could be coming into more money, of course, but money comes under the spotlight under that full moon. But also, so does your confidence, so does your self-worth and what you value. So pay attention to what it is that you value and what matters most to you this month, because it might actually be changing quite significantly, Aquarius. The card that we have for you is Kali, endings and beginnings. The old must be released so that the new can enter. So we see this with Pluto being in your 12th house. You could be releasing old fears, old wounds, old expectations, and really needing to let go of the past in order to be the most present version of yourself and feel in the moment, or be in the future, which is something that you like to do just as well. So interesting setup, Aquarius. This is a very interesting card for you, I have to say. And also in Libra season, you're going to be feeling very expansive and very jolly. So there will be a shift because Mars is going to be going in there. Mercury is going to be going in there as well and retrograding. Mercury is going to be in there all month and then retrograde at the end of the month, which means that you might have to revisit matters in terms of travel, in terms of education, or there could be miscommunications in these particular areas while you're going with Mars there with full foot to the pedal. So that's what I have for you, Aquarius, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi Pisces, and welcome to your September forecast. So Pisces, this month for you puts a huge focus on your partnerships and your relationships. We have a beautiful new moon happening in your relationship sector on the 6th of September, and this is going to be something that is a beautiful new beginning in terms of your relationships, in terms of your romantic relationships. For some of you, this could be deciding to commit to something with a partner, be that a new home, maybe a relationship, commitment is coming with someone you're dating, maybe you're getting engaged, maybe you're getting married around this time, maybe September's a month where you get married, anything like this. There's a new beginning and a new energy surrounding your relationships this month. There's a little bit of confusion from you though, because we have Neptune in your first house, which is going to oppose the Virgo energies. It always does. And with Neptune opposing the Virgo energies, you could be feeling a little bit confused about what you want, or you could be finding it hard to ask for what you want or hard to explain what you want, or maybe you just don't know what you want because it's going to be opposite Mars in your partnership zone, meaning that you are either actively pursuing relationships, but maybe you're not so sure if you like the person you're pursuing in a long-term level, or it could be that someone is really pushing you in a relationship forward and you're not so sure what you think about it. There could just be a little bit of a difference in opinion and a lack of clarity. But there is going to be something really beautiful coming up because Venus is going to be in your 8th house of intimacy, connecting very deeply with a partner. It's a very saucy place to have Venus, and it's going to be trining Jupiter in your 12th house with a really beautiful deep spiritual connection with a partner. So maybe just feel things out if you're feeling a little bit confused surrounding the dynamic at this time. We also have Venus in your 8th house, and it's going to be squaring Pluto in your 11th house, meaning that in terms of your finances or in terms of your intimate relationships, you could just be finding friendships are a little bit jarring. You could actually be finding friendships a little bit psychologically troublesome, Pisces, because Venus in the 8th house, it's also your psychological state, and with Pluto coming in, it could feel like friendships are maybe acting to your detriment in terms of your well-being. So just pay attention to that. Friendships might be a bit controlling or a bit jealous at this time. That's just something to watch out for. We also have Venus moving into Scorpio this month, which is lovely and intense for most people. For you, it's actually very expansive and very joyful. It's the 9th house, so it's to do with philosophy, higher understanding. You could be traveling with a partner, you could be traveling to a different location with a relationship. Some of you could be in a long distance relationship, or some of you could be finding within your partnerships, you guys are really expanding your minds together. Now, with Venus being in your 9th house, it also means that your school is going to go well if you're in education, or if you're learning or studying something. It is going to join the fixed square between Saturn in Aquarius, Saturn's in your 12th house, and Uranus in Taurus, which is your 3rd. Very mental activity. So really with you Pisces, if you're trying to learn or you want to study something, or you're finding universities going very well, you could have a little bit of inner fear with Saturn in Aquarius, or maybe just an intuitive fear or an intuitive worry or an anxiety issue. It could also be with Uranus in your 3rd house. You could have unexpected news that is going to affect your learning. There could be some tension from school, from learning, or from the people that you're surrounding yourself with on a daily basis. They could be acting erratic. They could be acting in a way that's unusual. So there could be some unexpected news for you, especially if you're in higher education or any form of education at the end of the month. And it could also just be that you realize you have an epiphany. You have a mental epiphany with Uranus being in Taurus opposing Venus in your 9th house. You have an epiphany about your religion or your spiritual perspective or something like that. The best part of this month for you is the full moon in Pisces. It's going to be in your 1st house, meaning it's your time to step into the spotlight, to be seen, to embrace yourself, to give thanks for yourself, acknowledge yourself, and really be present with who you have become, Pisces. Or maybe you also become very aware about what it is about yourself you'd like to change, maybe. But this is a time when you will be seen. You'll be very hard to ignore around that full moon. Your oracle card is Guinevere, True Love. The romantic stirrings in your heart have propelled the universe to deliver great love to you. Of course, such a 7th house season. A lot of you could meet someone very significant this month. It could be that your relationship deepens in a way that you want. You could have found the one. You could be getting married. You could be getting engaged. You could be having positive changes in your relationship, maybe by the healing you're doing on your own. It might also be that some of you actually reconnect, if you're single, with someone you used to date or somebody that you used to know, because Mercury is retrograding through your 8th house. We also have Mars going through your 8th house once it leaves your 7th, meaning that relationships, being intimate and having a depth and a chemistry with someone is very important to you. So this is going to be a month that really focuses on your partnerships, relationships, and potentially true love. So that's what I have for you, Pisces, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you all for listening. Just to let you know, I am opening up space to take astrology readings again and tarot readings again. I have services available that are now open after a brief hiatus. So if you want to book with me, the information's linked below, and I will talk to you soon. Have a happy September. Bye.